you know, the link that I'm showing that I'm using today, that link is in the chat box. So you can copy and paste that if you to get all the information that the slideshow with all the other links in it if you want to go back to it. So that's there for you.
So I think you put the link in before I joined. So I can't see the link.
I will. Okay, let me do it again then. Okay. Oh, you know what? I didn't hit return.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it in there, but I hadn't hit return, so I hadn't posted yet. So
I'm going to save that.
Excellent. And then if you want to share this webinar, and once we post it, that link is, the chat comes along with the video recording. So those of you, if you're watching this recorded webinar, the chat window in transcript is available and you can get that link, or you can email me, and our contact information is at the end of the show. So with all of our, so you'll see that. So, all right. So today I was going to show you how to create these interactive diagrams with Google Slides. They're pretty cool. I got the idea from the rabbi, the tech rabbi, Michael Cohen, and I don't know if you're familiar with his work. Mm-hmm. We had him as a guest webinar speaker at our Heart of Innovation. We host a conference every summer, although this year it's canceled. And last year was our first one, so we've hosted one conference, and he was a webinar speaker who came in and gave a 2-hour or 1-hour webinar about using creativity in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So, and very gracious, and so I appreciate it, and I sent him a tweet, which you'll see, and so it was very nice of him to do this. Now, I'm just going to start by showing you an example. So this is one I just created just as a mock-up, so it's not real scientific or accurate content-wise, but this is what it would look like when you create it. So I just took the parts of the eye, and you see, you can still see my screen, right?
Right.
Okay, so here's what it would look like if you were going to do it. What it does in this context is when you create this first page, the parts of the eye, it says click on the various parts of the eye to learn more about it. So when I click on lacrimal gland, notice this little window pops up with the definition of it. Or conjunctiva, the little window pops up. So you can add, and I'll show you, I created a image here that has a title and then the information that goes along with that. You can also do, if I click here in cornea, you can see, you can also insert videos in these pop-up windows if you wanted to, or like mucus layer, when I click that, you could just insert a video or an image if you wanted. But the trick is, and I didn't finish it because I just created this mock-up so you could see what it's like. But as you click on each of the terms, then the little pop-up windows appear. That's basically what it is. And so when I click return to slide 1, that's what slide 1 looks like. So I'm going to get out. So that's what I'm going to teach today how to do in a quick little webinar. Another variation of this with the same skills, my friend who had the great thrill to teach with, his name is Justin DePaulos Metz, and we taught with each other over 10 years ago. He's a music teacher at Wiley Elementary School in Urbana, Illinois. And he used the same concept to create a virtual classroom. So I just wanted to show you that example. And what he did with that same concept is put all these images on this Google slide. And now if I click on one of these images, it will take me various places. So he's in charge. He created the Fine Arts Distance Learning website for his students at Urbana and worked with the music and the art and the teachers to do this. So when I clicked that, it took me to the dance and drama page where he's got this stuff posted for his students. If I click that shut and I go back to his virtual slide, every object is linked to something, to a YouTube video like this one, to a Vimeo. I'm just going to close these. This computer, when you click it, takes you to a different web page of their website. There's some of them, like this one is a video of taking flight. So some of them went to video games. Here's an art station, takes you to an art website. The table takes you to the daily music activities that you can do. remember. Some of them were video games. Oh, this was, yeah, Incredibox, different things that kids can do. So it's the same concept. Instead of using the clicking on the words, he has linked to these different objects. So just to give you some ideas of different ways to do it. Okay, so I'll close that. So let's take a look at how we do that. Demo time. And I'm just gonna have to, so what I did, and I'm gonna drag it over here. The first thing I did, like if I was gonna do it, you just create a slideshow, right? You just go into File, New, and create a slideshow. Then of course you need a image. What I did is I just went to Google search and typed in shark diagram. And you can get different diagrams of sharks. You go to, and you can start clicking on these different diagrams. And you'd want to pick two things to think about. Number one, skill level of your students. With little ones, you probably don't want all of these different buttons. And the other thing is you should use your tools and you should consider usage rights that they're labeled for reuse. So you want to be sure that, oh, did somebody come in? I'm wondering if people have to go to a waiting room. Oh, Allie's here, I see. Didn't see Allie, welcome. I didn't see that you popped in. Oh, I feel so popular, Karen. This is so exciting. Oh, Priscilla Boswell's here. Hello, Priscilla. Oh, I know, I'll go to grid view. That's what I can do. I don't think I have a waiting room. You know, with security, enable waiting room. No, I don't have that. So I hope everybody, Zoom, I had a Zoom bomber. It was kind of exciting, Karen. I silly for one of these office hours, I posted the link to the Zoom. And I guess there's bots out there that are continually then on Twitter searching for Zooms. And then when they find it, they hack into you. They click it and they join in. And it was a high school kid. It was like, my mom told me to be here. And I'm like, I think I'm going to move you to the waiting room. And he's like, wait, don't. And I did. My husband was sitting behind me. He's like, you so just got bombed.
I've heard of it, but you're the first person who actually tells me it happened.
So what I learned to do on Twitter, because that's how I was advertising it. I'm sorry, your picture's over here for me, but I'll try to look here. What I had to learn to do on Twitter was not post the Zoom link, but a link that you could click to get to the Zoom, which is our web page, and then you click. So that's a little hint if you're gonna tweet it out. But yeah, it was kind of funny. He started to say the F word, and I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work. Because at first I was trying to be like, oh, or maybe you're in the wrong class. I was trying to, what school do you go to? I was asking, oh, I'm a dropout. And I'm like, this is sounding more and more suspicious. So, so anyway, so back to building an interactive diagram. So the first step is finding a diagram. You can find them online like this, and we want to make sure you get ones that are labeled for reuse. If you have one in a textbook, you could scan it and upload that one. If you even took a picture of it and uploaded it, that would work as well. It's because the image isn't interactive. The image just has to be nice and clear on the page. So right here, this great white shark, all I did was, I think it was, the commons from the Wikipedia, and I just went right-clicked and copied the image, and then back to my slideshow, and I just went Command V, and I pasted it. And then you can stretch it to be the size you need it if it doesn't. Now that one I might not use because see how distorted it gets. So you'll have to find an image that doesn't get too distorted. Oh, Stephanie's here. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No, I should have waited. Look at Karen. It was my first customer. Karen, I'm feeling very popular now. Do you hear all these things? This is exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really glad all of you guys are here. So we had a lot of people say they couldn't come at 3. So I'm just getting started, so I'm so glad I'm just starting. Step 1 is to find the image that you want to use to make it clickable, okay? So, and again, I was just talking about using best practice. Make sure if you get it from the web that it's labeled for reuse in your tools. You don't want to use one that has copyright infringements. And if your textbook has one and your students have copies of that textbook, then it's copyright protect. They all have a copy of that in their textbook anyway, so that's fine too. Or maybe a worksheet that you have, an old worksheet, and you'd like to just scan it and make it a PDF, and then you can insert the PDF picture of the image here in the slide. So then what I did to make it look a little fancier, so if I get rid of this, I just went up and I inserted a shape. I got a square, and then you just drag and drop it like this. And then I just dumped color in it. I used blue because it was a shark in the ocean and things. And then once you insert an image, you can see I can start typing and it's right there. So because it was blue, and for this first slide, you want to give the directions as what to do. So I'm going to switch my font to white, and I might want to go with a bigger font and say, welcome to our great white shark diagram. And then I might make this bold just so it looks pretty. And then I can go down and make it not bold, and directions. Click on the word to learn more. Okay, so that's just your base one to build. Now again, how much of the scaffolding to do for your kids depends on your kids and their age. If it's a young kid, I would do a lot of this beforehand. So really all they have to do is the filling in of the blanks. For older kids, I'd like to see them. I taught high school for 21 years. They could do this, no problem. And I would just give them the instructions, and they would have to build their own baseline stuff with their own skill. So, all right, the next thing I needed to do was I needed to make blank slides for each word. So I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I just went, and then to go a slide with layout, I just used the plain white one, so it doesn't have any other colors in it, and I just went blank, and I did that 8 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have another one, a few more here, and I'm going to show you why. It's that easy though to create a new slide, right? Everybody got that? I'm sure you're all nodding your heads because I can't see many of you.
Yes.
So, go on. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay. Oh, and yeah, if you guys know how to use chat. If you want, I'm monitoring the chat on my other screen. Oh, yep, there we go. And if you know the Zoom tools, if you have any questions, you've got your reactions button. Can you guys see my Zoom tools on screen, Karen? So you've got your reactions. You can also, if you go to participants, and I can, then if you have a question, yes or no, or go slower or faster, I have that on my monitor to the side. So if you have questions, want me to slow down, if you want me to repeat something, speak up. And if you don't want to speak up and interrupt, just type it in the chat and I'll pause at that chat and check that out. So should have done that up front. All right, so I have my diagram and I have my instructions. The next part, and I have my blank slides because I'm going to be linking. The next step then is to create a link for each word. It's pretty easy to do. All you need to do is you can go up here and you get a shape, just use a square, and I'm going to go around the word dorsal fin. Now notice, of course, it goes gray right away. So I want to go up to my paint tool and make that transparent, make it a little bit bigger because I don't like the lines there. And on the outside line, this is make sure the border of that box, I want to make that transparent as well. So you won't see it on the picture because the box and the line are transparent. But it's that box is still highlighted. I want to insert a link. Several ways you can insert a link. You can go up to your tools and insert link. And notice it's saying, do you want to link it to a URL or slides in this presentation? I'm going to go to the slides in the presentation. So dorsal fin will go to this number 2 slide. So I'm going to put number 2. And then you have to click apply or it doesn't work. And you're going to repeat that procedure. And I could just go Command C to copy, Command V to paste. And I'm going to move it to the next word. But I'm going to take that link away because I don't want it to go to slide 2. And you guys can guess, I want to go to slide 3 this time. Making sense? So apply. So when I click this, if I present it, and I click dorsal fin, it's going to slide 2, which has nothing on it right now. Okay? I'm not going to spend, and you repeat that procedure for each word. Command V, put that blank box in there, and I want to edit that link. I don't want it to go to slide 2. I want to go to slide 3. Okay, thumbs up, everybody. Is this making sense to you? I'm looking at my participants list. Allie, J. Kelly, Karen. I'm hoping this is all making sense to you guys. Okay. So, all right. And I do this procedure so each time I click that, it goes to the slide that I want it to go. Once you've created your master slide, I want to click on the slide and go select all. So everything here is copied, and then select C for copy, Command C. So select all is Command A, and to copy all of it is Command C. Then I'm going to go to each slide and paste it in. Down to 3, down to 4, down to 5, down to 6, 7, 8. And if I was done, this link would be there for so every slide now has the directions, the diagram, the words, and the links. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you. I didn't make all of these links live, but I think you would. Okay? So when I go to slide 1 and I go to present and I click dorsal fin, now I'm going to see this slide, which has but there's nothing there. That's not working. So the next piece is to make that pop-up dialog box that you want to give you the information. So that's why I have this extra blank, because I'm going to build that one down here in slide 9 and 9. So to build a pop-up box is really easy. Again, we go to insert those shapes, and I'm going to go to a square and draw a little pop-up box like that. And I'm going to make it fun, I might go with a light blue in there. Oh, it's kind of dark. I'm gonna go a lighter blue. And notice I can type in this right away, okay? But to give it a little bit of a different, like the example, I'm going to put another shape in here at the top. So, and then I'm gonna dump, and this top one, the yellow. So it's got this nice feeling of a pop-up box. And then in this, like the top is gonna have the title, dorsal fin, back dorsal fin, tail. It's gonna have those words in it. Oops, close my diagram. Oops. So, but this one's gonna be my master. So I'm gonna click inside this box, and here's another little thing that you can teach your students and create this for your students, for the younger ones especially. You're gonna have enter title. And for each one, I would want it to be centered. And for each one, I don't want to use this font. I want each one to have a different, darker font. So, and make it bigger because it's the title. So notice it's bangers at 21. And then down here, I click in the lower one, enter text here. And I will just leave it at that font and size. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to copy all. So Command A, copy that all, and then to select it all, then Command C. So I've copied this dialog box, and I'm going to go put that on each of these slides. So dorsal fin by there, V, and then this box will pop up for dorsal fin. And I'll do that for each slide. Back, for whichever ones you want to do. For tail, however you want them to be, where they appear, back dorsal fin. This one, Command B. I won't do all of them because it's going to take us too long, but you can get an idea of how. So now, let's go back to my first slide. If I click on dorsal fin, it looks like that pops up. Does that make sense, Karen? You're my only face that I can see. So I'll do that again. So now I hit when I'm in, if it's in present mode, then I click dorsal fin. That's what I'm gonna see, okay? If I click tail, oops, I'm in slide 2. And if I have those links set up before when I shared the master, if all those links are ready, it's every time you click a word, it's gonna go to that slide. And right now it's just blank, intertitle. So the last step then is where you have to put your content in. So there's a couple ways you could do it live, right, like this, if you had your students researching something. Or if you had them do the research beforehand, they might have their research perhaps in a doc like this. Have they take their notes. So then here's a little trick I'm going to show you too. So dorsal fin is the title. So I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to copy it, Command C. I go to my Great White Chalk slide 2 where we talk about the dorsal fin. I take out the words intertitle. Now here's the trick. I'm going to go copy, I'm going to right click and go paste, but instead of pasting with a normal V, I'm going to paste without formatting, and voila, now it's in that font. So it has that consistent thought. So paste without formatting. And the same thing here, if I go like dorsal fin, I'm going to go Command C, Control C, whatever your keyboard is for copying. And then where it says enter text here, I'm just going to go Command V for paste. Now notice when I did Command V, look what happened. I've got that white line behind it. So I got to go back. Command Z is my undo. I'm going to right click. I'm going to paste without formatting, and then it looks good. I have to delete. I forgot enter text here. Sorry about that. I forgot to delete enter text here first. So you're going to have that consistent formatting on each slide because each time, and if I went to back dorsal fin, do I have notes up? Oh, I had tail. You know, I would copy that, Command C, and I go to my tail one, and I go right click, paste without formatting, and you've got tail. And then I go to my content. So it's nice if you have your content ready to go beforehand. It makes it go a lot faster, as you can see. Command C, and then I'm gonna get rid of enter text here, and I'm gonna go I'm gonna go right click, paste without formatting. It's hard not to just do that. So you can move this around. Oops. See how I'm moving just one piece of the image? Here's another little trick that you might or might not know. If I highlight that, notice it's highlighted because it's blue, and then I hold Shift down and I highlight the bottom. Now both pieces are clicked, and I can go to Arrange and Group, and now it moves it as a group, if that's helpful to you when you're doing images like that. So that's how, again, it's a lot of repetition. How much you would want to put in would depend on the skill level and the age of your students, but that's how you build it. So when you're all done, you have that sample. I go back here. It's behind here, hiding, like the eye one. So parts of the eye. So once I've clicked and put all that content on there, now you remember. See, then when you click on it, it's going to go to slide 4, go to the present mode. And the other thing is you want to wait till you have all the links ready, because no matter what slide I'm on, the links are already there as far as to that slide. So that's why you don't want to paste that mama slide until you've got all of your links ready to go. They won't, of course, have the dialog boxes in them yet. They'll just go to that. Then you'll insert the dialog boxes, but the links are already there. So that's an important step. So that's how you would create one of those interactive diagrams. And as I said, my friend Justin, what he did in his, he did those blank links to the shape, And then he either put in the web link that he wanted to go, or most of these are web links, they're not dialogue. So that's another way you can use the same concept. Okay, so here's some keys. If you're gonna do this, the important thing is to plan. You know, don't just start, and if you teach it, you have your students do it, like if I had my older students, I would say it's important that you plan before you start building one of these, okay? So, and if you're gonna build a template for your students, it's just as important for you to plan the template before you start creating. Remember that content is king. That's what the rabbi, Michael Cohen says, the tech rabbi, and I love that. Content is king. So possibly consider getting that Google Doc that I showed you that example. Have the students have that Google Doc ready before they go to build the interactive diagram, because it'll go more quickly, as you saw. That copy and pasting without the formatting. And then possibly create a note-take template for your students. I taught 5th grade. I helped a 5th grade teacher, and she was always so great about having a note-taking template so the kids knew what notes that they were supposed to include for each pop-up box. So that's a nice idea if you want. Again, how much scaffolding do you need to provide for your students? You're gonna know that. Consider creating a template base to guide your students. So like you could have the whole Shark thing and all the links ready and all the boxes ready. All they would have to do is input the content if you wanted. And as I said, older students may appreciate having more freedom, to create what they wanted. Yeah, use shapes for pop-up boxes, and you can create them in the template so that, like I showed you how to set up the font and the font size if you wanted to create that. But I think it's a good practice to teach the students that you want it to be consistent. So if you don't create it for them, tell them, maybe show them, okay, you're gonna wanna create a template first so your boxes are consistent. And then remember, it's not just text. They could add images, videos, however much creative freedom you want to give them. The one thing I worry about this, and this is me as a classroom teacher for 25 years, I would hate to see this just be a copy and paste exercise. I'm hoping you guys know what I mean, where they just copy definitions from Wikipedia and paste them in there. I would want to think carefully, how can you make that fact gathering part not a copy and paste exercise, and really, I learned about this and now I'm creating this diagram to show you what I learned. And I think that's one thing that you should consider as you create it. How much of it do you want to give them as a template so they're just copy and pasting? That would have to be your decision with your knowledge of your students' abilities. Some of those skills that we just went through that you would need to do in slides: how to insert shapes, how to make the shape transparent, how to make the borderline transparent, how to group those images so you can move it together, how to create links within an image and link to other ones in the slide, how to create links to other slides, and you could create links with other websites like Justin did too. How to adjust the order of images and shapes. So let me show you what I mean. Sometimes if you want to put a background color in, and let's say I'm going to insert a box, and I'm going to cover the whole thing, and now I can't see anything. If you go to Arrange, Order, Send to Back, now that box is in the back. So sometimes if you want two different colors on your page, you can use that. And how to copy and paste an entire slide. So to do, that's what you did with your shark, and I showed you how to do that. Say select all for that slide, select C, Command C, and then paste Command V. So those are the important things. Some resources for diagrams. I'll get back to my present mode so you can see. I'm an English teacher by trade, and so I was thinking about different ways. I can see so many science between biology, astrology, the planets. They could click on Mercury and have a little pop-up box about what's Mercury about. You could do the parts of a frog. You can do the parts of a tree, the parts of a flower. So I tried to find a science website that had those templates ready, and there wasn't. So I had the best luck. It says here, just Google parts of and then I would find good diagrams that were shareable, usable. So, and then I did try to find some for like my language art, for the language arts. I put like I could see doing it for the characters of The Great Gatsby. And I couldn't find any that weren't copyright protected. So I would have to create that myself by using public images, like click on Gatsby, and then a pop-up window could come on. So you can create your own graph really quite easily in Google Drawing or in Google Slides. And so you don't have to use one that's already there. So you could use it for literature, for math. I think you could create them for any subject. I thought for history, you could do a timeline. Click here, what happened here, or a map. Like if click here for geography, and the little pop-up boxes could come up. And then I got this idea from the Tech Rabbi. There's a link right here if you want to go through his webinar. It's I think, 18 or 20-minute video he's created to show how to do this as well. And when I tweeted out today, I said, and Karen, you found it on Twitter, because Karen's down in Texas. She said, I put this out, like, join us today for this webinar. And then I gave Michael Cohen credit, because he's always great to share, but it's always proper to give somebody credit for their idea. And so he replied to me, he said, awesome. Please share out the awesome ideas teachers have. So if you come up with some cool projects, I'd love you to share them with me, or tweet them out on Twitter if I follow you on Twitter, and I'll share them out with, or if you do it, just tag at Rabbi Michael Cohen, or find him if you're a Twitter person, because he'd like to see what you guys create with.
That's how I found your session, because I follow the Tech Rabbi.
Oh, you don't follow me, but I'm so popular, Karen.
I will now.
Yeah, come to Iowa and see what we're doing. Yeah, the rabbi is great. His focus is how to build creativity into our school days. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is one of those projects that allows students to show some creativity, depending on how much of the template you give them shows their creativity with the colors and the content and what ideas. So I'm going to pause. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? I can quit sharing my screen now. And I'm just gonna bring my Zoom meeting over here. And I'm looking at the chat. Oh, Command-Shift-V, paste without formatting, okay. And there's the link. Would I kindly share the presentation again? Look like somebody did. See, teachers are so nice. We are just a nice group of people. So, okay.
Thank you, that was very helpful.
Oh, was it? Good. I hope so. I thought this would be a good one for kids to do at home right now. Where they can learn, and you could, how much freedom you give them. I want you to build me a diagram about your house. I want, you could do anything that you wanted them to do. They could draw their own and take a picture. And making that interactive, I think, might be engaging for some kids. So, well, and as promised, this last slide, I wanted to share this with you. At Heartland, and Karen, this is our whole group, our Heartland AEA. We've created this image. If you click it, it goes to our s'more. And these are some more of our learning at homes that are coming up. Engaging students during virtual meetings, one on Flipgrid, one on Google Meet training, Seesaw, Google Classroom. If there's any topic that you guys would like to hear about, we're happy to build these mini webinars for you. And then here's some other graduate classes that you might be consider taking, or just license renewal credits if you would like.
You're not sharing your screen anymore.
Just realized that. You're just talking about how it's so easy to do that. Here, let me get this share screen. Desktop one. Share. Okay, so here we go. Here's the different links that you can join. And again, this is linked in the slideshow. So if you got the slideshow out of the chat, on the last slide, second to last slide, you'll find this link to this s'more. So the different learning from home opportunities, our mini webinar series. Here's some classes that we're offering right now. I'm going to be teaching Become Google Certified Level 1 and Become Google Certified Level 2. Some maker stuff, Seesaw. So if any of those are supportive to you, you'll find that information too. And then here is our contact information. And so yeah, Karen, you can see our map here, and here's Des Moines. right, there's Johnston, Dallas Center, Grimes. There's Des Moines. We're right here. The gray square is Des Moines. I cover this area as my region. But if you email us at HAEA Tech, that comes to all of us. And so then we know somebody will grab it because they're out of your region to help you. So, okay, I'll stop the share again. So that's all I have for you. Took 40 minutes. That was longer than I thought it would take. My mother always said I talk too much, so, okay, so you're welcome to stay. I'm going to be here till 4 if you have any questions for our virtual hours, our office hours. But feel free to check out and say goodbye. And as I said, don't hesitate to reach if I can help you in any way. So,
thank you so much. It was very nice meeting you.
nice to meet you too, Karen. Good luck down there in Texas.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome.